Now, okay, before I get into it, I just had to get this out of the way. But I said after this review, I will put up my reviews of other reviews I recorded, including Beverly Hills Ninja and some other ones. Okay, but I had to get this out of the way because now, just because I had to get this out of the way before I forget about this movie, it is a completely forgettable sequel, and it's a great shame to a beloved franchise. Now, I paid money for this. There's the ticket right there. Where is it? Right there. In bold print. Yes, I saw Rambo Last Blood. And I knew it came out exactly what I expected, except for one thing. I will give credit, though, that they did not kill off Rambo. I thought they did. I was wrong on that. I told my brother, I was like, okay, if they're going to do this, they're probably going to kill off Rambo. Which, okay, I was surprised by, I was wrong by, they did not kill him off. And which is probably I thought they were going to do the same thing with Creed 2. Where, because in the first one, he had cancer, he was puking up blood. In the second film, he didn't die either. So, yeah. But I paid money for this, and I want my money back. I want my money back. But yeah, I love the Rambo films. My dad, he loves the Rambo films. Before I was born, you know, he loved the Rambo films. I enjoy the Rambo films a lot too. Right here. I got the first three in the steel cover set, and I got the fourth one, which I also highly enjoy as well. I love the Rambo films. Stallone is great in these. Here, after saying this, I just wish Stallone, he was just. I mean, Stallone, he's in his 70s now. He needs to just stop making films like these now. Okay, he hasn't done much in a number of years. He hasn't. The best thing I've seen of him, of all of the years I've been, was his little role in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Okay, so hey, cool, Stallone in a Marvel movie. Okay, he was fine in the little role that he had, but that's it. Because after the first Expendables films, which was great, I did not like the second and the third Expendables films. What else? Oh, the Escape Plan trilogy. Yeah, I even saw the third one. That sucked too. How that got a trilogy, I have no idea. The first one was beyond disappointing. The other ones were shit. What else? Oh, Grudge Match, unfunny comedy, boxing comedy, where he's making it with Stallone is wearing that green suit, you know, where he used to do the motion capture for video games and films and stuff. It was embarrassing to see him in that, and he's fighting Robert De Niro in that room, and it didn't help with that. It didn't help that Kevin Hart was in it. Grudge Match sucked. What else? Yeah, I know the Creed movie sucked. Oh yeah, Bullet to the Head, where the lame fight with Jason Momoa, Aquaman. Stallone's track record over the years has not been that great after the first Expendables film. Other than his little role in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, what else he's done that's been like worth a damn? I love Stallone. I love him to death. He's one of my all-time favorite actors. He says, I just wish he just retired now. Same with Arnold, because Arnold's track record hasn't been great. It has not been good either. The last good film he did was The Last Stand. That was back in 2013. Did not get to see him in another Terminator movie. I'm not seeing Dark Fate. Otherwise, I probably will eventually get it, because I gave in to see this movie. This piece of crap. So I won't hold my breath, but most likely I will, because I hated Terminator Genesis. But same thing with Arnold. They just retire and just don't do any more movies. I hate to say it though, but like I said, they're up there in age. You know, they just stop. But like I said, I love Stallone to death. I've liked most of all his movies that he's done from the, you know. But here, Last Blood, which is false because it's not really the last blood because he didn't die. And if he's talking about another one, just I know there was talks about another one after this. But here's the thing: is I'm not overly mad. I'm not like yelling and screaming or just tearing stuff in my room like I sometimes when, unlike The Lion King or other certain films that piss me off. No. Also, yeah, I'm not really mad because okay, if they killed Rambo off, then that would be much more madder. But Rambo: Last Blood is not the worst film this year. That's still the Lion King 2019 is still the top spot, and it is always gonna be the top spot for me. That's gonna be the worst film of this year for me. There's a couple other films I think that is worse than Rambo: Last Blood. Dark Phoenix was a lot worse. Captain Marvel was a lot worse. Yeah, those films are a lot worse than Last Blood. So yeah, Rambo: Last Blood, it's not the worst film to me. I'm not overly pissed about it. I am not, but it's another franchise yet again. They get screwed around with people like, I mean, it's a high time they start doing stuff with old franchises. You know, stop making stuff with old franchises. Come up with new stuff. You know, it's just keep prolonging the franchise. It's time to end the franchise. You know, there's a certain line they should not cross no more. But people don't listen. But Hollywood doesn't listen. You know, they don't listen to fans, people, or otherwise. But yeah, I'm not overly mad. But this film still sucks. It's still a piece of garbage. Where to start? Before I'm like 7 minutes in now, but I don't want to start getting into it. Okay, it takes place in the ending. It's years after Rambo 4. He's on his ranch after he went home. I think right before he went home. It's years later, and all of a sudden now he has a niece. Which is the funny thing is though, because okay, in the fourth film, he mentioned that when the girl mentioned, "Did you have any family back home?" And he's like, "A father, maybe." You know, they don't mention about. He did not mention nothing about his father. Nothing. Nothing. But he has a niece. And this, I guess a housemaid that's living with him as well. And all of a sudden, again, he has tunnels underneath his property. I don't know why. Because that's probably because, well, it's gonna lead to the big finale, which is not that overall great. And plus, another thing, the ending of this movie, I knew it wasn't gonna top the insanity of the ending of this film. I knew it. Nothing is gonna beat that awesome battle with him using the .50 caliber, blowing half the bad guy's army to pieces. Especially when he up close, he blew that one guy in the Jeep, turned into a pile of nothing. And even including with the help of that sniper guy, I also got some kills as well. Blew one guy's head off. I knew this new one was not gonna have especially the ending was not going to live up to what the ending of this was. Especially also when he disemboweled the leader of the bad guys. Granted, yeah, the leader of the bad guys in the end of the film, yeah, he cut the guy's heart out. Okay, that's a cool, gruesome death. I'll give it that. I will say that that's another thing I'll give to the last ending where he's down the tunnels, where he's killing these guys and the Mexican cartel is what it is. With these traps, okay, there's CGI blood enhancements, but like when he when they fall down, they fall in these pit of spikes, or someone pops out of the walls and stabs them, or when he blows up close with a guy's head off with a double shotgun. Yeah, CG blood enhancements, but some of that stuff with the brutality, okay, and I did like though, and especially when he cut the leaders of the head of the cartel, he cut his heart out, and he's really actually holding the guy's heart. That is a cool death. I'll give it that. Or when he, because there were two brothers in this, the leaders of the cartels. There were two brothers. He killed the first one when the one brother went to his home and found his bloodied up, decapitated body, and then when Stallone was driving down the road, he just lets the head roll onto the highway when he drops it. I did like that too, though. Yeah, so there are some decent gruesome deaths, though, but that's not enough to save the movie. And it didn't have the exactly brutality also in this film, like when the bad guys, when the army invade that village, they just shoot children, throw them into fire, and stab them, and blowing people to bits and all that stuff. the brutality of this was much more, especially Stallone directed this, so he knew how to handle the brutality well. He didn't direct this film, but he wrote it though. This is the same guy who directed the Mel Gibson film Get the Gringo, which I enjoyed. I like Get the Gringo. Mel Gibson did a great job in that movie. I like that movie. And that was direct to video. And speaking of direct to video, this film does look like it's direct to video, but it's the name Rambo, so it has to go in the theaters, so. But I like Get the Gringo. That's a direct to video film I like. Mel Gibson was good in that, but this film, no. I like Get the Gringo more than this. So, then the girl, she's with Stallone, which also I guess in between this film and this film, you must have found her. I don't know. So she's about to go to college, but then she gets a call from a friend of hers from Mexico that she found her dad. Which you find out that Stallone knows about, that he beat the girl's mother up and left them, but she wants to go down there and see him. Stallone says no. Even the housemaid says no. Says the same thing, no. And you get even get it's sort of like a repeated conversation that remember in the beginning of the film with the missionaries, and especially with the girl Julie Benz was talking to Stallone. You know, people can change, or etc. And he's saying, no, you're trying to change, which you can't. It's basically the same thing here. It's like, no, people don't change. I've seen how black a man's heart can be. It's like, oh, but the girl's like, oh no, people are not as bad and all that, this, blah 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 blah. You know, it's just like basically people can change and all that stuff. And he said, yeah, people don't change. That's why the missionary people, they knew dangers going in though, and yet they saw how that army was. So they killed most of the missionaries. One got captured. One was fed to the pigs, and when the girl was about to be raped by one of the soldiers until Stallone came up behind and ripped the guy's throat out. Yeah, people. Yeah, they believe people can change, but they saw firsthand what those army people can do. Scumbags, you want to hate those bad guys, and they get their just desserts basically. But yeah, even that was a motivation for them because they want to help the tribesmen people. They want to help the sick and injured and all stuff. You can be more leniency towards them because they're missionary people. They want to do good deeds. Here though, the girl says, "Oh, maybe look at Josh. Maybe it's changed, this and that." And of course, she doesn't listen. Even the housemaid says the same thing. She doesn't listen. She goes down there anyway and meets with the friend and shows the place. Even when she meets the father, basically tells her to fuck off. Basically, sorry for the language, but still, well, people swear all the time. I don't care. So how am I any different? So, yeah, basically tells her to fuck off. You know, basically, and you're nothing, basically. And then she's in tears. Oh, it's like, oh, he was right. I'm like, yeah, he was right. So the girl takes her to this club, you know, to take her mind off of things, and then the next day she doesn't come back, and Stallone says something is up. So he goes down there, talks to the girl, and because he knows that she's wearing the bracelet that the girl had, and that was from her mother, she would never take it off. So forces her to tell her where it's at, tells her to get lost, and makes the one guy that she met. And then when he falls outside, he stabs the guy in the leg, and then he kind of takes like a bone right out of here, takes it out. It's like, you know, tell me where it is, or I'll break it out. And then knocks the guy out afterwards. And then the two brothers, the leaders of they gang up on Stallone. They beat him up. Find out who the girl belongs to, and you get the stuff taken out from the first Taken movie. You know, that's the girl. They take girls, you know, from the trades and film it with drugs, and like the same thing in the first Taken movie where they did with the girls in that movie. And Taken is 10 times better than this movie, and nothing much happens. And this is the first half of the movie is boring. The first half doesn't have that much. The first half or so doesn't have that much action in it. This is a Rambo movie, and the first half has no action in it. Yeah, he stabs a guy in the leg and does a little this. That's it. That's the first bit he does. I mean, for the first half of this here, where he shoots those pirates that were gonna capture when they're on the way. He shoots those guys and he burns up the bodies, and then the action, including with the raid on the village and stuff like that, and with the bad guys. So he gets beat up. It gets like one of the brothers cuts him up right here, leaves him there, and then this one journalist, this woman who's following him, brings him to her place, lets him rest up, and with the girl, the niece, say she gets taken to the place. She gets drug. They find out who she belongs to, because it's Stallone, because there's a driver's license. Jacks her up with drugs. I mean, this girl was an idiot to begin with. I don't feel sorry for her because she was told not to go, didn't listen, and still didn't listen. So she died from her freaking stupidity. And then, she freaking died because by the time when Stallone gets arrested up, he rescues her. Yeah, he beats a couple of guys up with a hammer. Okay, there's a little bit of brutality right there. Where he beats a couple of guys with a hammer, even with CGI blood and all that stuff. Still, yeah, but she got filled up with too many drugs when she's taking her back home. But then she dies. So basically, it makes most of the movie pointless because of this whole thing of rescuing her, like the first Taken, except that the girl's friend died, though, but he rescued his daughter, though that she wasn't completely filled up with drugs, though, but still. So it makes, most of the movie pointless. She dies on the way. And yeah, I knew, I even knew that she was going to die anyway, because from the trailer, he was looking at a grave, across, and they don't mention his father, so we don't know that about him. So I had to assume, because you don't see his niece in most of the trailer, especially to the finale. So and he's looking at the grave. I assumed that was her. I was like, yep, that's gonna be the niece. That's the gonna die, and I was right. That okay, yeah. Somehow in the movie point she died, and then he's standing at her grave. And after that, the housemaid leaves, and then Rambo is setting himself up for, preparing his place, for battle. It's like it's Home Alone. He's his traps in the tunnels and the barn, and so. But not after which, when he visits the journalist again, because the journalist's sister died the same way as Anise does, and he goes to one of the brothers' house and decapitates him. You get a nice bloody aftermath of the body, and he's driving down the road, and he lets the head roll down the road. I did like that, where he just drops the head and lets it roll. Okay, I like that a little bit there. And then it's when the other brother, gets his army, goes to his place, he sets off some bombs to create some fire, and then he shoots some gasoline some other guys, and once a car runs over a landmine, blows that up, and then it leads to the little cool bits down the tunnels, where some of the bad guys fall into traps, and Stallone shoots a couple guys' heads off, blows a couple guys' heads off with a shotgun. That's a little. It's CGI blood though, but the ideas of that I did like about. And he actually hits one with a pickaxe, and then ends up leading with the bad guy, the lead bad guy. One thing leads to another, ends with a barn, and then he shoots him, pins him down with the arrows. And you get the score. It's basically they use the same score, Brian Tyler's score from this movie, and I know definitely they use the same. They repeat the same score when Rambo pins the guy with his arrows. That's the same part of the score that they used this scene right here. When he was taking those other soldiers to free those other people. This scene right here, I remember because I see this film a lot. That then, yeah. So they rehashed that piece of score. Well, let alone Brian Tyler's most of his score. It sounds like the same thing in this movie, from this movie. So he pins the guy to the wall and then cuts out the guy's heart, which is a cool, brutal death where he's just digging into him and just ripping out the guy's heart and he's holding it. So okay, that was a cool, brutal death for the bad guy. But where was I? Oh, it's not as bad as, but it's nowhere near as good where he's going with the leader, the bad guy leader, where he just goes and sticks it in and just goes and disembowels him. Yeah, let's say I knew the ending of this film was not going to top the ending of this movie. And I grant the guy again. And Rambo got shot a couple times, and he didn't die. He's sitting in his rocking chair, and during the credits, they show rehashed clips of the first 3 movies and the 4th movie, and then including the 5th, including this movie here. Why do you? Oh, because it leads up all the way up to the 5th film. That's why. So they're showing clips from the first 4 movies, including the 5th one. I'm like, okay, you're showing clips of these. I would rather go. I just go watch these 4 movies right now. I could just watch the first 4 movies. Why add in these? Because it's Rambo when he first got started, all leading all the way up to here. That's the reason why you're putting it in there. And plus, even to me, you did not need a 5th Rambo movie anyway, because this ended it perfectly. Like when Richard Crenna said, like even the flashback, he had the flashback of what he had in here. You know, it was like, when are you gonna come full circle? You're gonna keep on tearing away at yourself until you come to terms with what you are, until you come full circle. To me, his story in this film came full circle. After he was done, he went back home, and it basically ended like how the first film, when he's walking down the road, when he's walking up, on his way to the war, and all of a sudden it ended when he's walking down the road on his back to his home here. Came full circle. You did not need to make a 5th film anyway. But whatever, after this film did, it's just they want to make the plan to make a 5th one for years before this came out. So, man, like I said, I'm not overly over the top mad. Well, I'm mad inside here, yes, because I'm a big fan of Rambo, and same as my dad. Well, my dad didn't see this new movie yet. I haven't told him about how it was yet. But he's a big fan of these, including this film as well. We both love Stallone. We enjoyed Stallone. But just Stallone, just please, I just had to say he needs to retire now. I'm still trying to say it in the nicest way. Your track record hasn't been that good for the past few years, other than your small role in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I would rather see what goes on with that character. I would like to see him in future Marvel movies with that character, Stakar. I would like to see that character more in Marvel films. I would like to see Stallone more. I'd rather see him in that than the crap he's been doing recently, including that directed-video film Backtrace, and that was a piece of crap too. So his track record hasn't been that good. I just think it's time for him to take retirement from acting, or direct more movies without him starring in it. So, yeah, but in this, especially his Stallone's acting in this film, it's not bad. He's not that bad in the movie though. It's just the poor script thing, which he had hand in writing in, and it just looks cheap as well. Because like I said, like the guy who directed Get the Gringo, that was directed video, but that was a good movie. Here, this does look like a directed-video film. And will this cost, what, $50 million? And I looked at the numbers now. Downtown Abbey beat this film. This film debuted at number 3. Even the new film, Ad Astra with Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, that came in 2nd. Even that film beat this out. Yeah, but at the same time, this film made $19 million opening weekend, and it's slightly a bit higher than this film did back in 2008, which made $18 million. This one didn't deserve to make a much higher opening weekend than this film did. This film was released in January, which this film underperformed, and that was disappointing to me. This should not have been debuted in January. It should take place in the summer. Stop releasing good movies in January, like this. And this got beaten opening weekend by a shitty spoof called Meet the Spartans. Good movie. And plus, if you want to see, like I said, a first hour and a half, or first half of this film, no action. John Wick 3, which Where is it? I have it. Sorry, I had to move all this stuff over here. It's piled on. Yeah, and I still haven't opened this yet, though, but I'll still watch, though. I love this film. This is my favorite film this year. This had action all the way through from beginning to end, non-stop. And the action in this is great. Keanu Reeves, yeah, granted, I know he's younger than Stallone, I get it, though, but still, a lot of creative deaths with dealing with a horse, even killing this big guy with a book. This is the best film of the year, but this is how action should have been. Rambo should have been taking stuff like the John Wick films, like action like that, or to do the brutality like in this movie, or in these. But especially this is Stallone, who's Rambo. He should just follow up with stuff like this. But worse. Like I said, the first hour, like the first half of the film, no action. Boring. The girl who I did not give a crap for because she was an idiot. She wanted to go through that so bad, even though he was being a douche, and she didn't listen to Stallone and the housemaid. Told him not to go, but she didn't listen, and she ended up dying from her stupidity. I did not feel sorry for her because she didn't freaking listen. She was an idiot. The journalist, nothing about her. She pops in just to, follows Stallone for a bit, rescues him, and then he pops in when Stallone sees her again. That's it. Nothing about her. The bad guys, the two brothers, nothing bad guys. The bad guys were nothing in this movie. The lead bad guy in this movie, you definitely wanted to hate because of how the way he slaughters entire villages, especially when they help to rescue when they invade their campsite. You see he's a freaking pedophile, but he gets his good comeuppance, gets disemboweled. Even the bad guys in this, even with Rambo Part 2, the first Rambo First Blood Part 2, who was the bad guy in the first Beverly Hills Cop movie. What was the guy's name? Who played Victor Maitland. He was a good bad guy. He was a good bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop. He was a good bad guy in that movie. What was it? Steven... what was the guy's name? Steven Duke... Crap. Now it's gonna freaking bug me now. I want to get the guy's name. Because he was a good bad guy in Part 2. Ah, crap. Doesn't say on the back of the credits on the DVD. But I think it was Steven I forget the guy's name, but he was a good bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop. He was a good bad guy in Rambo 2. And even Part 3, when he sees Richard Crenna from the other bad guys as well. And Richard Crenna I enjoyed, and that was the reason because he was his best friend, that's why. Nothing about the bad guys, nothing... The girl I did not give a crap about because she's an idiot, and they just taking stuff from the first take, with the girls trading with the drugs and all that. Other than the little brutality at the end in the tunnels and with the lead bad guy, nothing else. And that said, this sucks for a Rambo movie where the first half of the film has no action in it. It's boring and dull. What was it, for only like an hour and close to an hour and 40 minutes? It was just boring. And yet during the credits they take scenes from the first 4 Rambo films, including repeated scenes from this movie here. And yeah, he didn't die. He ends up him riding on his horse, riding off into the sunset. Well, honestly, yeah, it actually was in the sunset actually, but yeah, I was wrong on that. So I give credit where they didn't kill him off, like with Creed 2. But I would just say this, though, to me, this is the last straw for me for Stallone. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Stallone. I love you to death. One of my all-time favorite actors. I enjoyed most of your movies. But I'm trying to say this in the nice way. Your track record hasn't been that good the past few years. Or, yeah. I just don't want to just, either just retire from acting or just stick with directing. Same thing. Same thing with Arnold. I don't want to see it I don't see the next Terminator film. No desire, but I guess I have a feeling I would. If I saw this film, I have a feeling I'm going to end up seeing Dark Fate. So yeah, I'm done with it. To me, I would say this is like the last straw for me for Stallone now. I don't want to see any more of his whatever film he has up next. But like I said, it's not the worst film of this year for me. Like I said, Lion King is 10 times worse. Dark Phoenix is a lot worse. Captain Marvel is a lot worse. I think those are the films that I hate the most so far this year. Like I said, those are worse than this movie, Rambo: Last Blood. Which, that's false too, it's not technically Last Blood, because he's still alive, and if there were talks about another one, technically that's not Last Blood. But still, maybe this will be, my 5th film I dislike this year, because I don't know what's the 4th, so, because I named 3, but I don't know what's the 4th, though. We'll see, though. But yeah, it's not the worst film. That's why I'm not so over the top, screaming, raging mad. I am still mad. I'm still pissed in here because I'm a big fan of Rambo. Like I said, this is an action from nonstop from beginning to end. So that's my favorite film this year. The action in that is great. Some of the, let's say, with the kills I enjoyed. And Keanu Reeves, he's awesome. But I'll just, like I said, with the credits, start watching for the first time. I just rather watch. You're showing stuff that I'd rather watch right now. The 3 here are great and awesome. 3 is like I don't get why number 3 gets hated on, though. I don't get that. I enjoy Rambo 3. Here, this is also kick-ass and awesome. But yeah, especially you basically steal the same score that Brian Tyler did. Especially that one piece at the end with the bad guy in this movie when he does the arrows. Definitely recognize that piece. And Brian Tyler's score is practically the same. Is practically the same from that movie and this. It's boring. Most of the movie's boring. With the first half, no action, like I said. The girl dying from being an idiot. Bad guys are nothing at all. Yeah, I knew it was bound to happen. When there's always be a franchises that's a certain film in a franchise is gonna be bad, and this is it. I love the 4 Rambo movies. This, no. So I'm ending right here now. So I just had to get this out of the way before I get to my other reviews, so I just had to get this out of the way. Like I said, I paid money for this, and I want my money back. Get out of here. Stupid ticket. Tear it up. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this rant on Rambo: Last Blood. Technically not Last Blood. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next one. I said the review. Next will be Beverly Hills Ninja, and then the other 2 ones. Later.